Sane Sunday Live. Carol will be with us in just a minute. Till then, we'll be going over the community news, the events calendar, and what was going on the channel last week, what's coming next week, who's doing what. So if you'd like to stay in touch with what's going on in the community, the Sane community, the hashtag Insanefriends, Iamacreator community, then you're in the right place. Feel free to comment and ask questions in the chat and connect with and meet some of our great community members in the chat. We're glad you're here. This week, or this month actually, we'd like to go over what's going on during the month in the car scene, all the car shows and cruise-ins in our area. So today is the 8th, and we have on hashtag Insane Friends show this Wednesday at 7:30, Bubsification and E-Tard Adventures. This is the first time we've had two on at once, but they get along very well, and they've agreed to share their time on Insane Friends. We'll be hearing about their channel, all about what their channels are about, what they do on their channel, and who they are. Then we have a pretty packed weekend this weekend with car shows and cruise-ins. Just a few of the highlights of what's going on is the Beat the Heat Dalton meet right here in Dalton, which is always the second Saturday of the month. And you can see coverage of the Beat the Heat Dalton meet on our Sane Auto channel. Of course, you can see some of the great vehicles there and the people there. And like most of the other car shows and cruise-ins that we cover, they do help out charities and stuff. There was one time when the event coordinator was there, he had his trunk open, was collecting toys for the children. So there's always something like that going on. There is the Disabled Veterans meet in Cleveland, Tennessee at the Bradley Square Mall from 5 till 9 p.m. You can't find a much better cause than that. Go out there and support the disabled American veterans. If you're anywhere near the Bradley Square Mall in Cleveland, Tennessee, which is also the second Saturday of every month. Our moderator, Carol Sane, is here. She'll be checking the chat here in just a minute.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And we also have a really big meet. Now, this month is really big for Volkswagens because there's a couple of the biggest Volkswagen shows of the year going on. Not
bigger
including
than Bugapalooza?
Nah, I was about to say probably not bigger than Bugapalooza, but a couple of them rival the size of it. Believe me. But Fairway Volkswagen in Kingsport, Tennessee, that's on 2301 East Stone Drive, is having their big annual Volkswagen get together. And now you can also see all these events on Sane Auto Facebook and more, because there's constantly there was 2 more new things put on there this weekend, 2 more new shows put on there this weekend on the Sane Auto Facebook page, where event coordinators and other people are all the time putting their flyers on for their shows and their cruise-ins and everything, putting them up on the that page there. We also run a Facebook page called Dalton Car Scene, and a Facebook page called Car Show Cars and Cruisers of Northeast Georgia. Northeast, yeah.
Yeah, that's
so,
the Northeast. We're in the Northeast.
Yep. Now at Paradise Drag Strip this weekend. This is all on the 14th of July. All this stuff on the 14th of July. So no matter where you're at, there's something for you. Paradise Drag Strip. There is a swap meet and car show, cruise-in type thing, racing, everything that you could imagine is going on there at Paradise Drag Strip on the 14th of July.
Yay, I made it. Hi, I'm It's covered up. Oh my goodness. I don't know who's here yet.
And there's one. It's going on there in Paradise Track Strip. One of our friends
Camaro
on Facebook.
time. Hey.
Hello, Camaro time. All right.
Ryan Tenner. Hi.
That reminds me when we get to
Ooh,
the
and Deadpool car's here.
awesome. We've got a video coming up on the Deadpool car pretty soon.
Yeah.
We've already released 2 videos from Time to Shine this last week. We'll get to that in the Sane Auto Facebook YouTube page news. Right now, we got to finish up the news for all the car shows and cruises. We're only on one weekend right now, and there's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 events. I haven't even released the 5th event. The Knox Volks folks are having their annual summer jam. It's the 10th year in a row.
More Volkswagen.
Yeah. The mountains are going to be overrun with Volkswagens this weekend. It's in Townsend, Tennessee, Saturday and Sunday. It's an all-weekend event.
Wow.
And again, you can find more information about that on the Sane Auto Facebook page. Their flyer and everything is up there. I'll go back on there sometime this week and move this
Ryan
stuff to the top.
says that the Knoxville Jeep Club has an off-road run on the 14th as well.
Oh, wow. Thank you for letting us know, Ryan Trenner. The Knoxville Jeep Club has an off-road run on the 14th. Okay, if there's a flyer or anything associated with that, feel free to put that on the Sane Auto Facebook page so people can find it and get any more information they want.
Deadpool is in Nashville at an event.
Wow. That's right. I think she was telling us last week that she was going to something up there in Nashville. And a lot of these Volkswagens are going to be near Knoxville that we've been mentioning. So now the 21st, we have Audi Burkett live, free live concert from 12 to 4 at Mountain Creek
WrestleMania. Hey, how
Harley
you
Davidson.
doing?
All right, WrestleMania is back. Woohoo! Good to see you again. It's been a little while. Audi Burkett live, free concert, Mountain Creek Harley Davidson, right here in Dalton, Georgia.
We gotta go see that.
And then
That sounds like fun.
we need, if anybody knows,
Harley Davidson's and music too.
we need to, oh yeah, we need some stuff to announce. And I don't know if they are, but there's usually, if they don't have any obvious charitable events and stuff going on, they usually have a 50-50 raffle for charity where 50% of the money goes to some kind of charity, even at these events like at Mountain Creek Harley Davidson. So you're wanting to support, look for that kind of stuff.
To Shine, didn't they?
Yeah, they sure did. They had a big one at Time to Shine.
For children.
It was for buying books for children, and that was at Time to Shine. So there's always something like that going on. So this is one of the reasons why we like to announce these things, even if we're not going, and support, because we get more people to go, then that's more support for the charities that they're supporting. So now we need something on the 28th of July that we can announce and tell everybody about. If you know anything, put that on the Sane Auto Facebook page, and we'll put it on the calendar and start announcing it. And August the 4th is a dry weekend too, except for that August the 4th, I know that is not a dry weekend. That is Hot Rod City will also be having their get together on the 21st of July and on the 4th of August. That's Hot Rod City in Ringgold, Georgia. Cruise in, all types of vehicles, anything you want to just jump in and take there and show off, go ahead.
And if you don't have anything to take there and show off, they also have a wide variety of cars.
Yeah. I mean, cars and motorcycles, because they sell.
They sell on consignment.
Yes, they do. They sell a bunch of cars and stuff on consignment as well as motorcycles, but they have a whole full, they almost have as many motorcycle parts as I do transmission parts. So that's a lot of parts.
Yep. They also sell parts if you need anything.
Yep, for your motorcycle. That's motorcycle stuff they have.
And I have been gardening this weekend.
Oh yeah, so I may be able to talk her into videoing some of that gardening and putting it on her channel for y'all to see. And maybe an update video on the previous plants and garden plants and the fruit trees and stuff that she put on the channel before. So
I have started cultivating inside some herbs.
Some herbs. It's a huge friggin' herb garden in the house. It used to be some herbs. There's a lot of them there now. I
have basil. I have rosemary. I have German thyme. I have chocolate mint, a plant that actually smells like a peppermint patty. You know those little
chocolate mint patties?
Mint patties smells exactly like that. It's awesome. WrestleMania was in Hershey, Pennsylvania today. Saw 10 old cars, Model T. That's awesome.
Oh, they were driving through town. That's not. It's always nice to see them still on the road
and in working condition. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but he couldn't find out where they came from.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's we're pretty much at the height of the car show and cruise-in season, so there's more going on than we can keep up with. But we're getting more and more information from more and more people all the time. And
Ryan is growing tomatoes and peppers. We have
yeah, my dad's got the peppers. He's growing a bunch of peppers.
We were trying to grow peppers, but our seeds apparently were old. We are doing tomato plants and outside and okra. Those are the two we've got growing right now. We have a potato too, but it's
and we've got our fruit trees too, and the big pecan trees.
Maritime says there's a lot of shows around where he's at.
Oh, I bet. He's in a great spot for shows.
He's got to find more time.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I'll give you an hour of my time if you give me an extra hour sleep time.
Well, as far as the channel last week, we had, well, let me switch to the page here. I started talking, but my mouth ahead of my fingers here. We had the 1975 Chevy Impala glass house from Time to Shine, and that thing is just absolute phenomenal paint job. It's just an excellent example of a lowrider.
Extremely detailed.
And it started out in Southern California with a great deal of artists there working on it, and it was finished up here on the East Coast in Georgia. So we've got artists from both coasts working together in order to make that car become a reality. And it has been traveling around to shows from Florida all the way up to Kentucky and everywhere in between. So if you haven't seen that yet, check that out. It's absolutely great car. And then the next video we did from Time to Shine was of a couple of the motorcycles so that we could showcase some of those. And then we're going to go back to some of the cars that we found there at Time to Shine. And some of these vehicles are like the lowrider, were vehicles that were there last year at the Time to Shine. And you can see we had like a dozen videos of Time to Shine cars in 2017 and still didn't get to film all of the ones that we wanted to film. And so these are, it started out with some of the ones that we wanted to film last year, but didn't get a chance to. And then there were some just knockout, beautiful cars that showed up this year that weren't there last year that we did get to film. And so they're going to be up there too. One of the ones we didn't get to film last year that we did this year was an original one owner Pontiac Trans Am that has never even been titled, and it is in factory mint condition, and you're going to want to see that one. It's all original, beautiful Pontiac Trans Am. And then I have another video that was like a collab with Remy Moore. He has some new music out on his channel that I just, when I first watched that video and heard that music, I couldn't help but think of several of the cars that we filmed, and it inspired me. And so I talked to him about it, and you know, he's like, yeah, sure, as long as I put his name on there and the name of the song and stuff, give him recognition.
Yes, you did, Johnny Pro. You made it to the gun show.
So I haven't released the video yet, but I did finish editing the video yesterday, and I will release that video next week sometime. He and I talked about doing some black fast cars on there, and I'm going to make a second video with that music later on, but it will require another trip to Gatlinburg, because this video we're doing with a lot of fast black cars that I had put in that video with that music from Remy Moore. And then the next video I do with that music, I'm going to do with the Night Rider car, which I haven't filmed yet. So that's not going to be anytime soon.
Now, WrestleMania, I think your garden is getting a little bit bigger than mine. He's got 5 types of tomatoes, 5 types of peppers, 2 types of lettuce, sweet onions, red potatoes, blue potatoes, purple carrots, and lots more.
There's a couple people in the community. I have been, you know, we back and forth comment on each other's videos and follow those comments back and forth to each other's videos. And a lot of y'all are here right now. That I've noticed you're putting some videos up of your gardens and stuff, and that's been very interesting for us to see how your gardens are going.
Traveling memories.
And I did film a little bit of Dad's garden because his looks so much better than ours. He's, you know, I'm city boy from, you know, air bases in Atlanta and stuff like that, but he was born and raised here in the Appalachian Mountains, and he knows how to grow things. And so he was here until he went in the Air Force, and then he just was all over the world all the time and he still does. He still gets in a big truck and drives way out there. He's in 4 or 5 states a day. Yeah, I got a little bit of film of his garden, so I'll probably put that up on Sane Enterprises sometime next week. But you might have noticed that last week on Sane Enterprises, the video I did was a video of 4 of y'all's channels. Included Camaro Time and Remy Moore and 2 other channels I can't think of right now. I'm sorry. But that went pretty well, and I like being able to give y'all exposure and help y'all's channels out. It's like I keep telling everybody else that wants to grow their channel. One of the best things you can do to grow your channel is to concentrating on helping other people grow their channel. And
Traveling Memories is the first time that they're in a live chat. They are
awesome.
A long-time friend of the channel, though, they say. Camaro Time.
Well, welcome to the live chat. I'm glad you finally got to make it to the live chat. Look for any channel names that don't look familiar to you, and connect with them, support their channel. They will support back. Everyone in here is just great community members, and they will support. You don't even have to ask. You just make sure you comment on their channel and do a full view and let them know. I mean, you can do something as simple as just put in there your hashtag. And that's just one thing I've done sometimes when I can't think of nothing to say. As I put your hashtag Insanefriends were here, or the hashtag Iamacreator, or you know, part of the same community.
Well, Russell,
and they'll know what you mean.
I'm just starting my garden, so it's a small little thing.
Yeah, her garden is pretty late, but
you know, I am. It's the first year I've been home, so I'm just starting. It'll get bigger.
Yeah, she was in Florida last year, weren't you?
Yeah.
And then before then in Peru. So she had a pretty good garden in Peru. And then somebody tore it up.
Oh, it kills me. I was having my home.
Miss Sharma, welcome to the live chat. Go ahead, keep talking.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I already said what I was going to say.
Well, we have our visitor, and I know I'm going to mispronounce it. I'm just going for the last name. Sharma is from India.
Welcome to our live chat. We go over community news, and I hope you like cars and stuff, or we'll bore you to death because we're talking a lot of cars here. But
cars and gardens.
We also support each other very well in this community. Welcome to the Sane community, the hashtag Insanefriends, and the Iamacreator community, the hashtag Mopar community. There's people from the Camaro community here, Mustang community, and that's one of the things is Uzo Lou is one of the ones I included in that video last week, because now I remember I wanted to.
Oh, Zappy G, I'm sorry.
Hey, good look. Hey, Zappy G, welcome to the live chat. And yes, by all means, thank you for supporting and support anyone in here that you don't recognize. And make sure you comment on their video and let the video play all the way. Because they will support back. Now, we had Uzo Lou on that video on Sane Enterprises, and Camaro Time, and Remy Moore, and somebody else. I think it was Johnny Pro that I included in that video. I wanted to get somebody from each community and support somebody from each community in there. And I don't know if I can always, you know, make it that even every time I do a video like that, but I was glad that I was able to do it that way and, you know, spread the support out that way. If there were people watching that like Mopars, you know, for sure they'd get some attention to the Mopar channel. People that were Camaro people for sure get attention to Camaro people. Some people that were music lovers would go to Remy Moore's channel. And hopefully everybody watches that video will go support everybody that I featured in that video. And maybe I can do some more of those and get some more support for everybody. And if I can get more people going to that channel, then I can direct more people to y'all's channels too. And one of the best things about doing things that way, trying to grow your channel that way, and trying to by helping other people's channels, is that, you know, it doesn't feel so much like work. If you're just growing and growing your own channel and working really hard to try to make your own channel grow, and especially during times when you're doing all that work and it doesn't grow very quickly, you can very quickly get overwhelmed and feel like quitting. But if you're I've noticed that when you're trying really hard to grow other people's channels, even if your own channel's not growing very much, you don't feel so much like quitting, because you feel like you're still accomplishing something by you know, helping the other people out. And the Insanefriends show on Wednesday night, you know, it's all about introducing everybody to somebody else's channel and interviewing them on the channel. And it's not only very supportive and helpful. Yay! All right, Etard Adventures, which is great timing because I was just about to mention, like this Wednesday night on that hashtag Insane Friends show, we're going to be having Bubsification and Etard Adventures. And so that's going to be a new, very new thing for all of us because we've always had one show at a time on there. It's going to be very interesting to see how they interact with each other and how the show goes, having two channels on there at once. And they will, I think they said they will be in the same room together, so you won't be having that thing where we have some of the other community get-togethers where you have this window opens, that kind of thing back and forth. You should be able to see both of them at the same time and hear both of them at the same time.
And from what I've seen of their channel, we might see a few burnouts. That's scary.
That always helps add some excitement to it. Either way, I guarantee you it's not going to be boring. With Bubsification and Etard Adventures on there, it is not going to be boring. It's going to be a good show. So make sure you're there 7:30 Wednesday night. And then I'm talking to one of the bigger automotive channels about being on later in later this month, maybe the 25th, and another channel that's already in our community on the 18th.
Etard said we will definitely get burnouts.
All right. Well, you've heard it right there from Etard. There will definitely be burnouts Wednesday night, 7:30. So make sure y'all are there for this show. It's going to be a good one. Man, and at some point, I'd like to revisit. As a matter of fact, I'm tell Camaro Time right now. Camaro Time has lately been doing some really good how-to videos on some editing and stuff like that that can really help you grow your channel and help you increase your thumbnails. Which
we might need to have him come back on and give everybody a
I was thinking maybe on Sane Enterprises, where we talk about growing your channel and talk about how to do these things. Maybe sometime Camaro Time could come on Sane Enterprises channel, and we can talk about nothing but these editing things that he's been doing how-to videos on, and let the people know about his how-to videos and what they include.
Okay, Etard, we'll see you on Wednesday. You have a great time.
Yeah, and thanks for dropping in the live chat. Anybody in the live chat that hasn't connected with Etard Adventures, please do so. I'm sure he will reciprocate and support your channel back as well. Same thing with Camaro Time we're talking to right now. Maybe you can come on Sane Enterprises one day and we'll do a live, and you can tell everybody about what you've been doing lately with your channel on the how-to videos. And like I was saying, he uses a different program to do his thumbnails, and he's doing some awesome, exciting things with his thumbnails. And
I need to go check dinner.
We need to give some
right back.
Proper thanks to TubeBuddy, because we can't afford the program that he has right now, and I wouldn't know how to use it either unless I watched his videos, because he teaches you how to use it in his videos. We're using TubeBuddy, which is free, to do our thumbnails, and they look almost as good as Camaro Time's thumbnail. So if you want to go from no thumbnails or sketchy thumbnails to the kind of thumbnails that we've got, just look on our channel and see what kind of thumbnails we got. You can get the free TubeBuddy and do those thumbnails right away. I mean, you can click on the TubeBuddy link in our description and be making thumbnails 5 minutes from now for free. And if you've got the program that Camaro Time's got, or if you can afford to, he's got a link to the program he uses in his description. You can just click on that and go buy the program he uses and do even more stuff with your thumbnails and do a lot of photo editing and video editing and stuff like that. You need to go check out his videos, and he'll show you how to do some of the stuff. And you can, from within the first 5 seconds of looking at his video, you can see there's a tremendous amount of stuff you can do with that program he's using. Now, as far as next week, what we've got coming for the channel, we still have more footage of the Dalton Cruise In, vehicles at the Dalton Cruise In that we haven't edited or released yet. So we've got that to look forward to. And we have a lot more just really cool and exciting videos from Time to Shine that are in the editing process right now. Vehicles, including the Deadpool car. And we might be able to have at some point, close to the same time we released, I'd like to coordinate it close to the same time that we released the Deadpool car video, which isn't done editing yet. I'd like to have maybe the Deadpool girl and the owner of the Deadpool car come on here and talk to us on live for maybe one of our #InsaneFriends live shows. So we'll be talking to them about that, and we'll let you guys know what becomes of that conversation and when we get closer to making that happen. We also have some more famous movie cars that we haven't released yet. Some pretty awesome stuff, like the 1989 Batmobile from Batman Returns, the Michael Keaton movie, and the 69 Dodge Charger from the General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard. And Camaro Time says, sure, we will get it scheduled. So you got a good live video to look forward to coming on Sane Enterprises with Camaro Time. Oh, Camaro Time says there's also a free version of the editing and the software that he's using. That is exciting. That is pretty awesome. Okay, Traveling Memories, good job. Thank you for supporting. I like seeing support in the chat there. I like to see y'all guys helping each other out. That is awesome. That is great for everybody. That is great for the people you're helping out. It's great for your channel. And it's great for the community. The #Insanefriends, the Sane community, the Iamacreator community, Mopar community, they're all here. Johnny Pro is one of the big members of the Mopar community. He's here today. I bet you want to see that General Lee. That's going to be a good video. That was a nice one. Being there in person with that sucker, and it is one of the original General Lees that was actually used in the TV series. It's one of 17 that survived, and even it had to be, rebuilt a few times during the filming. But some of those cars were not recoverable. Wow! Thank you, Remy Moore. Woo! Super supporter, Remy Moore. Remy Moore is here, and he's super supporter. Super chat from Remy Moore. That is awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like the movie cars. We've got a couple more of those movie cars coming in the future. We've got several more really great cars coming from the Time to Shine show, and a couple more still from the Beat the Heat Dalton Cruise In. And I've got a video coming with your music on it, Remy Moore, that I've already edited this weekend, and I've already saved it and stuff. I just haven't released it yet. I will be releasing it next week. And then later on, I don't know if you were here in the chat when I was talking about it earlier, but there's going to be a second. It's going to take a little while for the second video with your new music on it. And it's going to be, we're going to go back up to Gatlinburg to film some more footage of some of the cars that we already got and some of the cars that we didn't get to fully video, including the Night Rider car, which it's going to require taking some battery powered lights with us. And hopefully they'll let us take all that stuff in. They did let us take the tripods and stuff in last time. So hopefully they'll let us take some lights and stuff in there so we can get that good film of the Night Rider car, which was just at a wall that was just way too dark for any filming last time. And which, like we were talking about, that would go really well with that new music that you made. But I've already got this one video. It doesn't include the Night Rider car, but we've got a lot of really good fast black cars that I already had. As a matter of fact,
and I'm
I
picking
had
it up
to
a little bit. It needs to cook just a little bit longer to thicken up.
I had so many really good cars that would go so well with that music that I had to pick and choose some of them. Some of them I had to leave out. But I'll tell you, one of them is a turbocharged Darth Buick. I'll reveal that much. With that car, just looks so much better on film with your music on it. It really helped the video of that. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by Carol's cooking. She's having me taste test. Okay, you better take this before I eat all of it.
You can eat all of it.
Oh, it's not supposed to be eaten in front of
Okay, well,
camera.
salt.
It could use a little salt and maybe a little pepper.
Okay.
If it does, you okay with having pepper in it?
Yeah.
Okay. We got some of Dad's fresh peppers in there, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay, and in case you've noticed, there were only 2 videos released last week, and of course that was because 4th of July is like a really big holiday for our family, being a military family, and having so many military members in the family. That's just a lot of attention for holidays like that. So we were with Dad most of the time, and of course he's a Vietnam veteran and a Cold War veteran. He was in for almost all of the 60s and did everything from in-flight fueling. He was what they call a boomer. We controlled the boom in the back of a KC-135 and was fueling the planes over North Vietnam. They had no weapons on those KC-135s. You know, some of them called them MiG bait because if anything ever happened, they were just sitting ducks. They weren't fast enough to get away from any MiGs or anything like that. They weren't maneuverable enough to get away from any SAM missiles, and they couldn't fly high enough to be out of harm's way either. So, but it's as much danger as we thought he was in when he was doing that, and he was actually turned out to be in even more danger when he was here fueling those big rockets in the silos that had the Titan II missiles that had the big nuclear warheads on them. Because later on, some of the guys that took over from him doing the exact same job that he was doing in '82, they dropped one of the caps and it went down in the silo, and by the time it hit something and hit the rocket, it had so much velocity it penetrated, and within 30 minutes the thing exploded, and you could see the explosion from over 10 miles away. And that was one of the very same rockets in the very same silos that he'd been working on right near the Little Rock, Arkansas Air Force Base where I was born at. And so luckily he wasn't still in at the time, and he wasn't on that crew when that happened. So I'd like to give a shout out to some of the people that've been commenting on our videos. Really appreciate that. T-Throg was here commenting like 54 minutes ago. Mojave KY was here commenting about an hour ago. D.E. Nichols was here commenting on the newest video, which was the motorcycles. DSW Joyride Productions, which we've been talking to him about being on the Insane Friends show. So look forward to that sometime, maybe sometime this month. And you get to hear all about his channel and what's going on there. He's also an upstanding member of the Mopar community, and we're glad to have him in the Sane community as one of our hashtag Insane Friends. Like I said, don't be afraid to be members of multiple communities. It is really good for those communities, and it's really good for your own channel growth. Nice Family and Friends is here. Linda's House of Chill is here. Natural Vibes was commenting on our videos. We really appreciate you guys. Blonde Baby Metal has been commenting quite a bit lately. We appreciate that. Rafi Vera is commenting. This is all within the last 24 hours. Go-Karts and Gone Fishing. And Uzo Lou was here. Scott Pearson Tools and More. Just like his name says, it's tools and more, lots and lots of tools. 813 Productions, Multiverse Studio. Isaac Chaz, I don't know. Isaac Chaz. I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name. Just playing around. Thank you for commenting on our videos. I have no idea how to pronounce your name. You win. You stumped me. Sid Berry was here. Let's see, I can pronounce that. Mojave KY and Johnny Pro and Remy Moore. Now, who was first in the chat today? Honey, do you remember who was first in the chat? Camaro Time. I could have guessed that. Camaro Time was first in the chat, and then Ryan Trenner. Wrestler Mania is back in the chat. Good to have you back, Wrestler Mania. Johnny Pro is here, representing Mopar community. Not the only Mopar community in here. Wrestler Mania. Traveling Memories. Srishan. Okay, Miss Sharma. Zappy G. And of course, Remy Moore, our super supporter. Etard Adventures was here and will be here Wednesday. Carol Sane, who is our moderator and beautiful co-host and incredible cook. Oh yeah, get to taste test again. The steam coming off of it. I don't know if you can see that steam. Yeah, it's more alive now.
that with rice.
Okay, so that on a bed of rice.
Yep.
Is dinner.
It's
All right.
vegetarian today.
Now, I could have put that on screen share, couldn't I, where I was shouting out the people that have been commenting on the videos. And that's another thing, too, a tip that we like to mention on Sane Enterprises. I might as well mention it here, too, for channel growth. Now, and that's one of the reasons why I did that on Sane Enterprises like I did, where I highlighted 4 people's channels on that video, because, and I should have mentioned this when I was making that video, but I did mention that if people that are new to the community come and they see a video like that, that those are 4 people they can connect with in our community and start learning the people in the community and interacting with the people in the community, starting with people that they know will support them back, and they can interact with and have good channels and have good content, and not just good content, but good clean content. But one thing I didn't mention that I will be mentioning on the next video that I make like that is that once you've found channels like that and you start interacting with people like that, you need to be looking in the comments below their videos, and you can find more good people in the comments of their videos and look at what they comment. And this is a lesson both ways on how to look for good comments and how to make good comments. If you see good comments that talk about things that are in the middle and the end of the video and give you an indication that that person actually watched the whole video, those are good. You want to connect with those people first. And you want to make comments like that, because there will be smart people out there looking for those kind of comments and looking to connect with you first if you're giving good comments like that and you're actually watching whole videos and you're actually mentioning things in the middle and the end of the videos that let people know that you actually did watch the whole video. Because if we can include and support and bring in more and more of those kind of people and be those kind of people in the community, we have a bigger, stronger community in the Sane community and the hashtag Insanefriends, and become even bigger and stronger than the Iamacreator community. And you don't have to leave the Iamacreator community to do this. You can be in both, because we are both right here. But I'd like to do with the hashtag Insanefriends and the Sane community some stuff that, for lack of a better way of saying it, some people in the Iamacreator community just never did listen to, and that is bring more organization to and less leaving behind of people. Mr. Dutchy Dutch, welcome to the live chat. It's great to have you here. Does anybody want to announce anything that's coming new to their channel, or anything that they've done last week that I haven't mentioned already? Or even if I have mentioned already, I'll mention it again. Anything that's going on your channel this past week that we should mention to the audience and the community? Anything that you plan on coming up the next 2 weeks? Let us know in the chat so we can announce it and let everybody know what's going on with your channels. It's good to have you here, Mr. Dutchy Dutch. What's going on with your channel? What did you put up last week? Got any good juicy videos you want anybody to know about? Let's see, and is there anything about our channel in the meantime that I haven't mentioned? Okay, I need to shout out everybody that's been in the hashtag Insane Friends with us on Wednesday nights at 7:30. Our past guests, every one of them was just awesome guests. If there's any of these hashtag Insane Friends shows you haven't seen yet, they're all on replay on our channel. They are in a playlist called Vlogs and Live Streams. Camaro time. It was our first guest and one of the greatest guests we've had on hashtag Insane Friends. And Gregory Salvatore was the second guest we had. Both guys, Camaro guys, and do have Camaro content, and not just Camaro content, but Camaro content and other good content on their channels. It's always first-rate content. Uzo Lou, which it's a father and son team, and they have a Corvette and a Mustang. Then Johnny Pro, representing Mopar Community, was our next guest. And then we had Chopper's Rule from Australia, down under. Not only does he do a lot of projects and stuff, but he and his family do a lot of animal rescue. They have a lot of cats and dogs that would have been put down at a shelter or pound if it hadn't been for them rescuing them. And they rehabilitate them and find homes for them. JJ, the karaoke rideshare driver. And you probably wouldn't know this on Chopper's Rules page by watching most of their videos and stuff, but it comes out in their Insane Friends episode, and we get to hear about it there. JJ, the karaoke rideshare driver, and right here on hashtag Insane Friends on the Sane Auto channel is the first time she ever revealed what type of car she's using for doing the karaoke. So all the karaoke on her page, all the videos, they're filmed inside the car where she's an Uber driver, and she gets the riders to do the singing, and she actually sang on our show too, and she's a very accomplished singer, so you don't want to miss that. It's like a big party on the show. Then we had Fab Automotive Detailing, which we had been talking to them for quite a while on the show, and a lot of people were waiting to see that, so we were glad to be able to have that on the hashtag Insane Friends show Wednesday nights at 7:30. And then we had SFJ, Southern Food Junkie. And let's see what we got here. We had Southern Food Junkie. And then, of course, we were with Dad on 4th of July. And we have next Wednesday at 7:30. For the first time, we're having two channels on at once. We have Bubsification and Etard Adventures. And Etard was here earlier today to confirm there will be burnouts. Yes, yeah, absolutely right, Remy Moore. Everybody was wondering what she drove, especially in this community. You know, we're all like, you know, we're looking around. We can see like the back of her seats, and we can see the rear seat and maybe some of the roof line and stuff, and the two pillars, and we could see that it was a four-door, maybe a four-door, but yeah, that was a big mystery for a while. We're all wondering, you know, what kind of car she's in. She actually started out in a different car, but this was her new 2018. I give that much away, but you find out exactly what kind of car it is if you don't already know. You have to watch the replay of the video, the live video. She does reveal for the first time she'd ever revealed what car it was. She bought that new for her business, but she's also taking classes to pass the bar exam. So she's going to be a lawyer soon. So catch as many of those videos as you can while you can. That might be an idea. Putting Carol Sane in another room with another camera and have her on here talking about her Carol Sane page. She probably have to live from her phone and walk around and show the plants and stuff while she's on the Insane Friends show. Yeah, and Camaro Time's talking about one of the times he was he was on one of his lives. He talked him into doing a burnout in his workshop. Was it Remy Moore? Yeah. Was it was not Remy Moore? I'm sorry. Was it Bubsification or Etard Adventures that you had do the burnout in his workshop and smoked up the whole place where he couldn't breathe? I know one time they were having like a 1,000 subscriber celebration, and they had a bunch of people on their live, and they were going one after the other from camera to camera live doing burnouts on the cameras on a live show, celebrating their 1,000 subscribers. And I think they were already gone above 2,000 since then. And that was just a few weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Etard and Fan 1701. Yeah, and one of them had a pickup truck and did a burnout in the garage in the pickup truck and smoked themselves out so bad they were coughing and couldn't breathe. So, you know, one of the things that came to my mind watching them sometimes is that you see these memes sometimes on Facebook where people say, you know, I'm glad I was born in a time when I'm glad there wasn't all these cell phones and internet platforms and stuff when we were growing up, because nobody could see what we were doing and that kind of thing. Well, if you're watching Etard and you're watching Bubsification, you kind of get the feeling of what it would have been like if we'd have had all this stuff when we were young, because some of the stuff you see them doing, yeah, that was us. Who agrees with me?
Me.
Can you imagine having them as neighbors? Well, I can imagine being a lot like that, because I was a frequent flyer at the emergency room from all the antics and stuff that I was involved in with my friends. And the as far as them being neighbors, they're right there in Chattanooga, and that's where my building's at. Of course, my building's on the south side, and I'm not sure exactly what part of Chattanooga they're in, but I think they might be on the north side. we'll find out Wednesday where they're at. Yeah, you'd have a hard time, Camaro time, you'd have a hard time getting your videos and stuff edited because you'd be over there all the time. Of course, I wish we'd have got a lot more video and photographs of stuff we were doing at the shop. But even when we were pumping out 400 to 600 customer vehicles a year and fixing up, you know, anywhere from 12 to 15 for sale cars during the year, and then another 1 or 2 show cars and stuff we do during the year. Of course, I had a crew of 5 to 7 most of the time. Most I had was 10. I did best with 4 or 5. But at the same time, we get all that work done. We still ended up having time. Somehow we managed to have time to convert that riding mower. We actually did 2 of them because the first one we wore it out. We converted it to where it would push cars and stuff, so we'd have that help for pushing the cars. And then when we weren't doing that, we would be popping wheelies with the thing. And then we had the big forklift, which we used, and well, I used. I didn't want the guys doing that with it, but we had sledgehammers, we had pipes, we had pick, we had several other things, implements of destruction that we used. And sometimes we'd have a car that somebody abandoned and it wasn't good enough for fixing up for sale, and so it was going to go to the scrap yard anyway. We were going to haul it off for scrap, so we'd take off the parts we wanted to save in case we needed them for other fix them up cars. And once we were done with that, we'd take all the implements of destruction, including the forklift, to it and totally destroy the car before we hauled it off to the scales.
I'll never understand boys.
And I do have enough pictures of at least one of those vehicles. I think it was a Ford Escort, us doing that with it, that I might be able to put together a video
that with an Escort.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially an Escort with a bad transmission in it and a questionable engine.
Don't they come out of factory
interior.
that way?
Some of them did. So yeah, we had our share of shenanigans going on and still got all the work done. Camaro time, you had an Escort GT.
I'm sorry.
Those things actually were really good gas mileage back in the day. They were good gas mileage cars. And the first ones that had problems and stuff gave some of the later ones a bad name. If you knew what to fix and correct on them, you could prevent a lot of the problems. One of the biggest reasons why the transmissions were going bad in them is because they had, the early ones had, with the ATX, had the bushings that would go bad in the throttle valve linkage, which was a, you know, a rod and pivot linkage instead of a cable or anything like that. And it certainly wasn't an EPC solenoid or any of that kind of stuff. But those, is your mouse coming apart?
Yeah. See?
That's weird.
Yeah.
Let's get some model car glue after that. But if you
help, it won't stay.
It won't stay, will it?
Why is it broken? My mouse fell apart. Then I don't know what to do.
Wow, it is. That's broke right there and there and there. Everywhere where the screw, look at that. Everywhere where the screws go, the tip is broke off, but the screws are still, they're still there. It just, wow. Well, I guess we'll have to glue that thing together.
Okay.
But anyhow, if you were to replace those bushings on a regular basis so they never fell out and you never lost your throttle pressure, those transmissions would last forever. And that thing where some people were saying you could build those transmissions without ever taking them out because the pump was at the side, you could drop it down, pull the pump out, pull most of the guts out, and rebuild. That was a myth, because that ain't rebuilding. That was a patch job. You couldn't get the torque converter out that way, which would be full of metal and stuff like that from the clutches going bad. And so, yeah, you could get in there and replace a lot of things, but that's not a rebuild. Unless you take the whole thing out and replace the torque converter too, you're not rebuilding the thing. So, and sometimes the bushing would go bad on the torque converter and eat up the hub, and you couldn't get to that to replace it or even look at it and see it. So that just wasn't a true rebuild.
I'm gonna go check your ice, people.
That was just shortcutting. Plus, you couldn't inspect the differential or the pinion gear doing that. And sometimes the where the drive shaft goes into the differential, you'd have a little bit of play because it would wear into the differential housing, and you get some play, and then no matter how many seals you replaced, it just keep leaking. You know, it doesn't take it but being maybe a quart low to burn the transmission up, so can't be shortcutting things like that. Okay, DSW Joyride Productions said, broken more Dodge trucks in my childhood driving them places a truck shouldn't go than most people have vehicles over a lifetime. I know some guys like that. There's quite a few of them around here. That's a big popular pastime around here, is doing off-roading. And my last Mopar that's worth mentioning, was the extended cab 1500 Dodge Ram with the Magnum engine in it. It has a 6-inch slip kit on it, and it was beautiful.
The mint has grown just since this morning.
You could almost watch that stuff grow. It grows so fast. Just stare at it and see it grow. Just stab a ruler into the dirt beside it and watch it. Camaro Time says his Escort GT was all black before black was popular. Not before I thought it was popular. I've always liked a jet black, just totally black car. It just took a while for some other people to come around to appreciate it. Yeah, they're impressive, baby. Hey, Go Karts and Gone Fishing is here. It's great to see you in the live chat. We've been back and forth in the comments on our videos. I'm glad you made it to the live chat. Awesome having you here. You hadn't noticed DSW Joyride Productions is here from the Mopar community. Camaro Time is here. A bunch of other people here. We have Mr. Dutchy Dutch. Remy Moore is here. Remy Moore, you're going to see one of my new videos come out next week with Remy Moore's music on it. And
now, that's something I don't agree with, is blacking out the emblems.
Yeah, but I still like an all black car. But I do agree with you on the Mustangs that I like the emblems to still show up. What she's talking about is that we've seen several of them around here where they blacked out the emblems too. Camaro Times was all black with black wheels and 5% tint all the way around.
He says, well, look at what DSW Joyride Productions says.
That's it. Wants to they have a Ford. I got one of everything.
I would admit to having nothing but a Ford Mustang. But that's a Ford.
Yeah, I got one of everything, and I'm proud of every one of them I got. I got some good examples of Ford, GM, Chrysler. Yeah, see, Remy Morris is he would too. Angie and 3 is here. Hello. Oh my gosh, yeah, a GT500 would be nice. There was one showed up at the Beat the Heat Dalton meet, and I got some footage of that. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if it's in the last Dalton Beat the Heat.
Camaro time. We have to talk about the Coyote and the Terminator. If you want to talk about Mustangs, those are lickable. I'm telling you.
Yeah, he says Camaro time says there's nothing wrong with Mustang, at least the older ones. Mine is a 72 Mach 1 with the 351 Cleveland Cobra jet in it. So it takes a lot of gas to drive that thing around.
Yeah, but
and sometimes earmuffs.
No.
It's loud.
That's a lullaby.
A 2012 to 2014 GT500. That's the one that I filmed at the Dalton Beat the Heat meet was a 2017 or 2018. The guys from the local Ford dealership showed up with it, and I think it had less than 20 miles on it. And it was jet black. It was all black. No, you wouldn't. We like all kinds of cars in here, Remy Moore. You can say whatever you want.
This is safe.
You can like whatever you want.
This is a safe zone, Remy.
Yep.
Gotta go check the race again. I don't want
you could like an electric Yugo if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Just put some fiberglass fins on it or something.
Yeah, and some flames.
Yeah, and a flame job. And some hydraulics, make it jump up and down like a lowrider.
And a thumping stereo system.
Yeah, a big thumping stereo system. Yeah. Yeah, whatever you want, as long as you do some kind of cool mods to it. Unless it's like the GT500 that they're talking about now. Those, you don't want to mod those. You want to keep those stock, because the Shelby GT500, because it's already modded from the factory. Don't want to cut those up or change those. You can take the base models and mod the crap out of them. Okay, Camaro time was looking at the Camaro. He looked at a GT500, was red with white stripes. They would not come down even 500, so I walked away. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't like that when I'm trying to be negotiable and somebody stonewalls me like that. I mean, I learned early on that when you put something up for sale, to put a little padding in the price so that you can negotiate with people and be a little flexible. If they wanted full price for it, they should have, you know, tacked something on there so they can negotiate a little bit. Not just stand there and act like it's the last one on earth. And you got the Camaro, and that turned out really well. This is a nice Camaro.
I think that this is
you got a lot of good videos out of it.
Out of heat dust I've ever made. I think they're the best I've ever made, and you're my inspiration.
DSW Joyride Production says we may specialize, but we like all vehicles. Yeah, that is exactly right. That just seems like everybody in the Mopar community is like that. And that's one of the things that we've liked so much about the Mopar community since we got involved with Mopar community somewhere in the middle or the end of 2017, is that, you know, they're just such nice people in the Mopar community. And even though they're primarily Mopars, they're very welcoming to other people in the car community and outside the car community and stuff.
What is
so? And it's a good. Oh, he says he really likes the Spiker C8 Laviolette. I don't even know how to pronounce that. You have to tell us about that. Because I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot about that one. He says he loves the way that car looks and sounds and everything. And DSW Joyride says it's not a bad car, not a bad dream car, especially a red one, cop magnet. 500 is the first week's tickets. Well, well, I wouldn't know nothing about that.
No.
Most of my cars are red. And one of them is a V12 Jaguar, and it is blood red. It is very red. And it's 86, so it's got that fastback look with the straight back glass, and the angel wings like the 70s model Corvettes, and it's got that long, low hood. The whole car is really low, and big old V12 in it.
See, that's nice. DSW Joyride Productions. We got Mopars, Camaros, Corvettes, Mustangs, and some imports. We don't hate unless you do.
That's the way to be. That's the way to be. And it's a good example to set, too. Yeah, those red ones and the yellow ones. What's that? How was that old song? Black and yellow, black and yellow. There's quite a few. The black and yellow ones you can really see. Those and the red ones.
Well, the black and yellow ones, I like the black and yellow ones because, especially the black and yellow Camaro, I like Bumblebee. Now we have a Transformer Camaro running around town. We see it everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Remy Moore says he had a Ford Taurus and he never got a ticket or pulled over the entire time he had the car. They thought you were a RoboCop. They didn't want to mess with you. Oh, yeah, the undercover cops had those. I actually had an SHO version of that for a while, and it was just the plain silver. And you know that all they had was the imprint of the SHO in the back bumper. So from a distance, you'd never know what that thing was. And yeah, I never got a ticket in it either. I just drove however I wanted to, and had that big Yamaha engine in it. Yeah, that SHO was a neat car to have. It would get up and go.
Dinner in 5 minutes.
Awesome. It had all leather interior in it too. a lot of the stuff in that car that was options for other cars came standard in the SHO. So it was loaded like a Cadillac. It had that big SHO motor in it, and it had the better transmission too.
Well, we have a Crown Victoria.
And it had a limited slip differential in it as well.
We have a Crown Vic.
We sure do.
It looks like an undercover FBI agent.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a detective car because it's got those what is it? I need some more coffee.
You should see people trying to pull to get out of our way.
They do get out of our way in that car. We used to have, in addition to the Triumph for a while, after we'd already had the Triumph for a while, we had a nice, really old 64 Mercury Park Lane convertible with the Marauder engine in it.
You know, the
that
kind that
18 and a half feet long.
Kennedy got shot in.
That was Lincoln.
Yeah.
But it was the same length. It was a big old long Lincoln convertible. This was a Mercury Park Lane convertible, and it was all leather, and it was nice. We saw one similar to that, but it was a hardtop at one of the places down here. We filmed a bunch of cars there. They sell them consignment. Grumpy's, and they got a bunch of nice old cars down there, including a Studebaker. They got a Studebaker down there. They got a big Camaro down there, an older Camaro with a big blower on it. But that's what I was going to say, that the Crown Vic we have now has the Marauder wheels on it. The factory wheels that the Marauder comes with, the Mercury Marauder.
Well, I'm going to go check again because it's time for me to start serving your dinner. So I'm going to tell everybody goodbye, and you need to tell them bye-bye too because it's dinner time.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yes, the non-60s and 70 T-Birds just look weird. They do look kind of weird to me, too, because I'm so used to, from being a kid and a teenager and stuff, of seeing the 60s and 70 T-Birds and some of the 50s T-Birds. And those 50s model T-Birds, the two-seaters, were good-looking T-Birds. And I had a couple of the 70 model and 71 model T-Birds that were in really bad shape. I got them because of the engine, because they had that 429 with over 400 horsepower and over 400 foot-pounds of torque it produced. And I got them to get that engine out of them to build hot rods with. And then they sold like that. I didn't get to keep them very long because there's always somebody there with so much money wanting to get anything I had with that engine in it. And it was never finished. Everything I built with an engine like that, it was never finished before somebody come along with some money and bought it from me. The SC would beat up on Mustangs all day, and only a V6. I tell you something else that was a V6 that beat up on everything all day. And I mentioned I used it in the new video with Remy Moore's music. And this is one of the reasons why I used it. We called it Darth Buick back then. It was the 86 model Buick V6 turbocharged And those cars came in all black, only all black. And, you know, come to think of it, I didn't realize this before. We were talking about that before Camaro time. Maybe that's why, even though we always liked black cars, they became cool sometimes in the mid 60s. Well, maybe that's one of the reasons why. It's because of those black Buicks with the turbocharged V6. And that's a big old honking turbo they put on that sucker too. And it would have better 0 to 60 time and better quarter-mile time than the Corvettes of that year. In '86, it was beating everything. It was beating all the Mustangs, the Camaros, and even the Corvettes. And it's another GM. So it's like GM was competing with themselves. But it's a wonder that the Grand National, you're right, the Grand National of '86 Grand National, and that was the they had been building that car for like 4 years at the time, and they got it right in '86. In '86, they got it right. It just kept getting better and better. I think it was what was it, '82 or '83? The first ones came out, and they weren't that great the first year. But by '86, they just kept improving it. By '86, man, it was a beast. It was whooping up on some V8 cars. Food's on the table. All right, guys. Thank you for being here so much. Really appreciate you being here. Hopefully, we'll see you in some lives at Sane Enterprises sometime next week, and in the chat on our new videos coming out next week on saneauto, and at hashtag Insanefriends on Wednesday nights at 7:30. We'll have Bubsification and E-Tard Adventures. It's going to be fun. And one last shout out before I go. Thank you so much for Remy Moore for Super Chat and being a super supporter. You are awesome. And thank you, Camaro Time, for being first in chat. And Johnny Pro for being here. And Miss Sharma, thank you for showing up. And Wrestler Mania, Traveling Memories, Zappy G, E-Tard Adventures for dropping in. Camaro Time, Ryan Trenner, Urban DePaid Tourist, Reese's Mill Off-Road Adventures, Mojave KY, Mr. Dutchy Dutch. Man, we had a lot of people here. Traveling Memories, DSW Joyride Productions, and thank you for being such lively in the chat with great discussions and great show. Appreciate y'all being here. See you again Wednesday, 7:30. Till the next video, get off the couch and get dirty.